They say every village has its secrets, but in my village, the secret had fangs. No one knew she wasn't human, not her neighbors, not her best friends, not even the man she married. That is, until their wedding night. And by then it was way too late to run. This story is not a joke. It's based on real whispers from an old village in eastern Nigeria, passed down in hushed tones from generation to generation. Some say it's a warning, others say it's cursed. But me, I lived through it. And I'm telling you right now, whatever you do, never ignore the signs. Because if you marry a snake in disguise, you might not live long enough to regret it. Let me tell you about Obinna. He was the guy everyone liked. Friendly, good-looking, worked hard in his late father's palm oil trade. Not rich, but comfortable. He lived in the town of Amuru, just on the edge of the forest. Not the deep, scary part, but close enough that old stories still drifted in on the wind. He'd grown up there, never left, never needed to. His mom sold akara at the market. His younger brother helped him at the stall. Simple life, no drama, until she arrived. She called herself Adaeze, tall, soft-spoken, beautiful, in a quiet, mysterious way. She didn't talk much about her past, said her family was from another side, just passing through, but she decided to stay in Amuru, alone, and that's when things started to get weird. Obinna first saw her at the market. She was buying pepper and onions like everyone else. Nothing strange, except that she never haggled. She paid whatever price they asked, even if it was too much. And then there were her eyes, dark, still, like water that never moved, not blinking, just watching. But Obinna didn't notice all that. All he saw was a pretty girl carrying a woven basket and walking like a queen. They started talking. Then talking turned into walking her home. And walking her home turned into cooking together, eating together, laughing at the little things. Before long, people started calling her Obinna's wife. Even before he proposed, no one questioned where she came from, or why she never left her compound after sunset, or why animals avoided her gate like it was cursed. Everyone was just happy Obinna found love, but love isn't always what it seems. The first strange thing happened one morning. Obinna was sweeping the front yard when he saw a long, wet trail leading from the back of the house to the doorstep, like something had slithered through the dew. He called out to Adaeze. She opened the door, hair perfectly done, face calm. He asked her about the trail. She smiled and said, "Maybe a snake passed by." Then she laughed, soft and cold, and walked back inside. Another time, his little cousin came to visit and refused to enter the house. "She's not normal," the child whispered. Obinna scolded him. "Don't be rude." But later that night, the boy cried in his sleep, muttering the same word over and over, "Nwanyi Agwo, Nwanyi Agwo," the snake woman. One evening during a storm, he came over unannounced. The lights were out. Thunder rolled. He knocked. No answer. He opened the door slowly, and what he saw still haunts him. The door creaked open. Obinna called out softly, "Adaeze." The room smelled strange, damp, earthy, like wet leaves and old skin. A flash of lightning lit the room for a second, and that was enough. On the floor was a large coiled shape, a python. Its body shimmered with black and green scales. Its head was lifted, tongue flickering, eyes cold as stone. And next to it, folded neatly on the chair, were Adaeze's clothes. Obinna froze. His heart pounded in his ears. Another flash. The snake shifted. Then, slowly, the snake began to transform. Bones cracked. Scales faded, limbs stretched. Before his eyes the giant serpent became Adai's, naked, silent, staring at him with those unblinking eyes. Obinna stumbled back, slamming the door shut. He ran into the rain, gasping, shaken. His mind raced. No, I didn't see that. I can't have seen that. But deep down, he knew. He had fallen in love with something not human. For days, Obinna avoided her. He told no one. Who would believe him? But Adaize kept coming, calm, smiling, acting like nothing happened. And soon, the pressure began. The elders came to him, his mother, the village women. When will you marry Adaize? She's a good girl. Don't keep her waiting. He couldn't tell them the truth. They would think he was mad. Or worse, they might anger her. And so, trapped by fear and shame, Obinna agreed to marry Adaize. But in his heart, the dread grew. He knew, on the wedding night, there would be no more hiding. The wedding was huge. Everyone came. Drums beat. Food flowed. The sun was bright. The villagers danced. Adaize looked stunning in her wrapper and coral beads, but Obinna's smile was forced. Sweat poured down his back as they exchanged vows. If anyone here knows a reason why these two should not be joined, speak now. Silence. Not a word. Not a warning. Because no one knew the truth except Obinna. When night came, the village square emptied. The new couple was led to their room. Candles flickered. Obinna's heart pounded like a drum. He watched her every move. She approached him slowly, smiling, calm. Then she spoke, softly, chillingly. Now, my love, no more secrets. Obinna backed away, but it was too late. Adaize's body began to change. Her smile widened unnaturally. Her eyes gleamed yellow. Her skin shimmered, scales emerging, bones cracked, limbs shrank. In seconds, the woman he married was gone. In her place, a massive python, coils thick as a man's torso. Obinna screamed. He burst out of the hut, wild-eyed. Villagers rushed to him. She's a snake, he gasped. They thought he was drunk. But then, Adaize slithered out, massive, gleaming, hissing. The crowd screamed. Women clutched their children. Men grabbed machetes but dared not approach. The joyful wedding had become a nightmare. Now listen, this isn't just a ghost story. In parts of Africa, there are old legends of Nwanyi Agwo, snake women, beings born of spirit and serpent, able to take human form. Some say they're cursed. Others say they choose this path for power. The elders whispered that such women are bound by old forest magic, and once married, the husband becomes theirs forever. If he rejects her, the curse spreads to his family. If he accepts, he must live with the snake wife in secret. Most men do not survive this choice. In the chaos, the village elder called for the oracle, an old woman, blind in both eyes, but known to see deeper truths. The villagers gathered, trembling. The oracle approached the snake. She placed a hand on its massive head and spoke. Your secret is known now, Adaize. What do you seek? The snake's voice filled the air, hollow, sad. I sought love. I sought freedom from my curse. The oracle nodded. But you deceived a man. Now the spirits demand a price. She turned to Obinna. You must choose. Accept this fate or face the curse upon your bloodline. Obinna wept. He knew the legends. If he refused, his mother and brother could die. If he accepted, he would live with this creature as his wife. The village held its breath. Obinna's knees buckled. He stared at the massive snake that had once been his beautiful bride. The oracle's words rang in his head. Accept her or curse your bloodline. His mother sobbed in the crowd. His younger brother clung to her, terrified. Obinna clenched his fists. His voice shook. I will accept. A heavy silence fell. The villagers gasped. The oracle raised her hands. So it is done, she chanted softly. The snake slowly shifted, scales fading, limbs stretching. Adaeze stood once more before him, naked, tears in her eyes. You chose well, my husband, she whispered. Obinna's heart broke. The wedding celebration had turned into a life sentence. From that day, the village changed. No one spoke of the wedding. No one dared mention the snake. Obinna moved into a house at the edge of the village with Adaeze, but inside, his life was a waking nightmare. By day, Adaeze was her human self. She cooked, cleaned, smiled, but at night, she shed her skin. The slithering sounds haunted him. Some nights, he would wake to find her curled beside him in full snake form, eyes unblinking, tongue flickering. Obinna stopped sleeping. He grew pale, thin. His friends noticed, but he refused to speak of it. He was trapped by love, by fear, by the curse. One day, a stranger came to the village, a tall, dark man in a red cloak. He sold herbs, charms, whispered of forbidden magic. He heard of Obinna's plight. At night, he approached Obinna's home. I can free you, he said, but there is a price. Obinna's hope flickered. What do you mean? The man smiled. You must bring me her shed skin. It holds her power. Without it, she will be weak. Then I will perform the rite to break the bond. Obinna's heart pounded. Could this be his chance? Could he escape this cursed marriage? But the risk? If she caught him, he would surely die. For nights, Obinna watched. He waited until Adaeze transformed. One stormy night, he saw it. Near the hearth, coiled in a basket, her shed skin, glowing faintly, pulsing with strange energy. His hands shook as he reached for it. Every fiber of his being screamed, "Don't!" But he grabbed it, wrapped it in cloth, and fled. He ran to the stranger. Here, I have it. The man's eyes gleamed. Good, return at dawn. The rite will be ready. Obinna rushed home, but as he opened the door, he froze. Adaeze stood there, naked, pale, eyes wide with rage. Where is my skin? She hissed. Her voice echoed unnaturally. Obinna's blood ran cold. Before he could speak, she lunged. Her body shifted mid-air, scales bursting forth. She slammed him to the ground. Traitor! Obinna scrambled free, bolting into the rain. The villagers heard his screams. Doors slammed shut. No one dared intervene. Through the forest he ran, clutching the skin. Behind him, branches snapped. Leaves rustled. A giant python slithered after him faster than any human. You promised! Her voice echoed through the trees. Obinna's legs burned. He stumbled into the clearing where the stranger waited. Help me, he cried. The man raised his hands, chanting fast, but the snake was already there, eyes glowing, mouth wide. The stranger shouted, Place the skin on the fire, now! Obinna hurled it onto the flames. A horrible scream filled the air. The snake writhed in agony. Flames danced higher, turning green and blue. Adaeze's form flickered, half snake, half human. Obinna, why? She gasped. Tears streamed down her face. Obinna collapsed, sobbing. I had no choice. The stranger completed the chant. With a blinding flash, Adaeze vanished. The fire died. Silence. Obinna lay there, broken. The stranger approached. It is done. But remember, such curses leave scars. You may be free, but your soul will carry this forever. Obinna returned to the village. Word spread fast. Some rejoiced. Others mourned. His mother wept with relief. But Obinna was never the same. He wandered the village like a ghost. No laughter, no light in his eyes. Some nights, villagers swore they heard hissing near his home. Some claimed to see a pale woman at the edge of the forest, watching. Obinna never married again, and to this day they say, if you pass that cursed house on a rainy night, you can still hear her voice. Obinna, why? Months passed. The rains came. Obinna tried to rebuild his life. He worked in his fields, spoke little. But strange things started happening. Dead chickens near his door, faint scales on his floor, cold air in the middle of the night. At first, he thought it was his mind, haunted by guilt. But one stormy night, he heard it. Obinna, a voice, software echoing. He sat up in bed, heart racing. You broke your promise. Thunder cracked. A pale figure stood in the doorway, a daze, half human, half snake, her eyes glowing faintly. You thought you were free? Obinna screamed. His cries woke the village. Men rushed over with torches. But when they arrived, nothing. Just a terrified Obinna, shaking and pale. It was her. I saw her. They searched the house. No sign of a daze. The elders frowned. Your guilt plays tricks, Obinna. But some villagers whispered, maybe the curse wasn't broken fully. Maybe the spirit lingers. Fears spread like wildfire. No one wanted to speak openly. But at night, doors were locked tighter. Charms were hung. Obinna stopped leaving his house. Desperate, Obinna begged the elders, bring the oracle again. Please. A messenger was sent. The oracle returned days later, older, weaker, but wise as ever. She examined the house, listened to Obinna's story. The rite broke her physical hold, she said, but her spirit was bound by deeper magic, rooted in broken trust. The only way to free your soul is to face her, apologize, accept the consequences. Obinna wept. I can't. She'll kill me. The oracle's eyes gleamed. Then the curse will remain, and it will grow, generation after generation. Obinna had no choice. The oracle led Obinna deep into the forest, to an ancient forbidden shrine. Here you must summon her spirit and face her truthfully. Obinna trembled. What if I fail? Then your bloodline will carry this curse forever. The oracle lit incense, drew strange symbols. Begin. Obinna knelt. Adeze, if you can hear me, I am sorry. I was weak. I betrayed your trust. I feared what I did not understand. Wind howled. A cold presence filled the shrine. Obinna, she appeared, glowing faintly, snake tail coiling, tears streaming. You broke my heart. Obinna sobbed. Please, forgive me. Adeze stared at him. You stole my skin, burned my power. Now you ask forgiveness? Obinna bowed low. Yes, I was wrong. I will accept any fate. Just free my bloodline. A long silence. Then Adeze spoke. There is one way. You must carry my mark. Let the world know what you did. Only then will the curse fade. Obinna agreed instantly. Yes, anything. With a hiss, she slithered around him. Pain seared through his back. He screamed. When it ended, a massive snake-shaped scar covered his back. Adeze faded. Now, you are free, but never forget. Obinna stumbled back to the village. He told the elders everything. He showed them the scar. They gasped. The curse is lifted, the oracle confirmed, but let this be a lesson. From that day on, Obinna wore only open shirts, showing the mark. He never remarried. He became a storyteller, warning others about broken promises and cursed love. Years later, children would whisper, "Don't anger a snake maiden, or you'll bear the mark forever." And on rainy nights, some swear they still see a pale figure at the forest's edge, watching, waiting. Obinna's life was never the same. He became a quiet man, but a respected one. Whenever new families moved to the village, the elders told them, "There is a story you must hear first." And they brought them to Obinna. He would sit in the village square, shirt open, the snake scar gleaming in the sun. Children sat at his feet. Travelers leaned in. "I once loved a woman I did not understand," he'd begin. "She was kind, beautiful, but I was weak. I betrayed her, and it almost cursed us all." His voice would grow low. "Remember, never take what is not freely given, never break a sacred trust. And if you meet someone who seems different, show them respect." The crowd would shiver. One day, many years later, a little girl named Neka asked, "Is Adaeze still out there?" Obinna smiled sadly. "Yes, in a way. Some say she watches the forest. Others say she found peace. But no one truly knows. Do you think she forgave you?" Obinna paused. "Perhaps. But some scars remind us never to forget." He tapped the mark on his back. The tale of the cursed wedding spread far beyond Duru village. Other villages whispered about it. Some said Adaeze still haunted unfaithful men. Some said she protected kind-hearted souls. But one thing was sure. At every wedding, the elders now placed a small serpent carving on the altar, a symbol of truth and loyalty. Years later, on a misty morning, a traveler arrived in Duru, a tall, pale woman with deep eyes. She asked for Obinna. The villagers stared. "Who are you?" "An old friend?" she smiled. When she reached Obinna's hut, she knocked softly. "It's me," the voice whispered. Obinna opened the door. His eyes widened. "Adaeze." She looked unchanged, timeless. "I came to see if you kept your promise." Obinna stood tall. "I have. I speak of you always. I warn others, and I carry your mark with honor." Adaeze's eyes softened. "Then I am free." She touched his cheek. "Thank you, Obinna. Live well." And with that, she vanished into the mist. From that day forward, Obinna's scar faded, slowly, and the village never saw Adaeze again. But her legend lived on. To this very day, in Duru and beyond, people still whisper, "If you marry, be honest. If you love, be loyal. And if you meet a snake maiden, remember Obinna's tale." So, what do you think? Could this happen? Have you heard stories like this? Comment below with your thoughts. Let's see how many of you believe in curses or second chances. And hey, if this story gave you chills, do me one favor, like this video so others can find it. Subscribe for more creepy true folk tales just like this one. And remember, some promises last forever. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there.